Okay, Darshali, good morning again, or good
Good
afternoon, I guess
morning.
it is. What time
Yes.
is it where you are? And remind me, where
Right.
are you?
I'm in India, and in India, in specifically, I'm in Goa right now. So it is
Ah,
basically a city of beaches and greenery and nature.
beautiful.
So it's a very beautiful city, and the time over here is 2:35
Ah,
p.m. So
yeah,
yes, good afternoon and good morning to you as well.
brilliant. But you're not from Goa though, are you? You're from a different area of India, is that right?
Yes. I'm from Gujarat, so that is Gujarat is different state than Goa. But we plan to shift it over here for some time as a part of experiment. To journey, have a journey like explore everything.
Yeah,
As the world is changing and work from home is becoming the new scenario, so
yeah,
we both are working in IT sector and people are having work from home whoever
yeah.
are working in IT, so we are exploring this part as well, so that's why we are in Goa.
Beautiful. So you and your boyfriend are now living on the beach, is that right? Or close to the beach?
Me and my husband.
Oh, your husband, I apologize. Your
Yes,
husband, yeah.
yes. Yeah, so we both are living nearby the beach. It's like only 200-meter away from our home, so like every
Beautiful.
morning we can go. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I've been so interested in your story since the first time I came in touch with you, and so impressed by, well, your productivity and what you've done. So I think the listeners will be so interested. So first of all, tell us now, how many books have you written in total?
34 so far.
30, 34
34.
books so far.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
And
and tell everyone,
still
if
working.
you don't mind, how can I ask how old you are?
24. So I'm going to complete 25th. I'm going to get started as my 25th in July, 7th July.
My goodness. So 34 books and you're 24.
Yes.
Wow, it's phenomenal.
Yes,
Absolutely
my goal
amazing.
is much higher, but I'm going towards that. So
Yeah, and are you writing a book right now at the minute as well? Are you're
yes,
I guess you're
yes,
always writing a
yes,
book. You must always be writing a book.
yes, definitely, definitely. I'm working on my 35th book, and it is going to be a series of 4 books. So I'm working on the first book of that series right now.
Fantastic. So tell us, like, how did that start? Like, do you remember from a young child being interested in books and reading, or how did it start?
Yes. So I would say that my writing journey started in childhood only. So like just like we have grandfather. So from my maternal side, I have also had grandfather who in India we call Nana. So he had very much good habit of reading. So from my childhood, he used to take me to library for reading. So from I would say like from seventh standard, I was so much occupied always in library. So every time vacation is there, I would be not going out. Rather than that, I would be in library reading all the books and like eating books. I love that
Yeah.
much reading, so he just put that habit in me. And in also school, we had so many competitions about writing and reading and everything, so I always used to participate in it and write and get ranks and everything. So that was the like I would say the start of my writing field. And at the age of 21, I started one concept called movie talks. That was first time in India. In that concept, I was talking about Hollywood movies,
Uh-huh.
but Hollywood movies in regional language. What I wanted to do is like people who does not understand English, they cannot see the good films, good movies and series just because they don't have knowledge. And also there are some mindset about movies like culture difference is there when it comes to Hollywood movies and India and everything. So they don't see it. But my purpose was that to give them the knowledge in regional language. So this was the concept that I started, and thus that concept hit so many people. They loved it, and I got my first opportunity in one of the newspaper that is 100 years old in
Wow.
India.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest columnist over there, where I started writing about those movies. So that's how like writing journey started as a columnist. And at the same time also got one publisher who loved my writing and gave me an opportunity to start writing books. So that's at the age of 21 actual book writing journey started, and then it went on and on.
So this has got even more impressive now. So you've written 34 books in 3 years.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, it's phenomenal, unbelievable. So let's go back to your reading days. Where was there one particular type of book that took you? Was it like a fantasy book, a fiction book, or like what type of book were you eating?
Yes. So I would say that it changed by the age I grew. In
Yeah.
school time, I was very much interested in reading novels because I wanted to gather the whole knowledge about, English books, because I am from a Gujarati background. So I wanted to learn more and more I can about, the writing, the way English author does. So I was reading all the stories of Nicholas Spark is there, then all the love stories and all the novels are there. So I started reading with that. But once I came into college life after completing my study in school, I started reading all the self-help books, basically all the books that we read apart from our study, and all the self-help section, leadership, management, all these things attracted me a lot. So I was like using the most library of my college, like grabbing 5 books at a time and reading it.
Brilliant. And then a lot of your books are based around self-help and personal development,
Yes.
isn't that right? And
Yes.
are all your books in your own language, in your local language?
Yes. So the good thing is that up till now, 34 books were in regional language. So people who could read Gujarati, they could only read my books. But the 35th book that I'm writing, it is going to be in English. So
fantastic.
it is going to be, yes. So that was the whole purpose, that I decided if people want to read those stuff, but because of the language barrier, they are not being able to read it. So that's why I have decided that enough with Gujarati, now the English will be there so everyone can get benefit from it.
Brilliant. So I can finally read one of your books. That's fantastic.
Definitely.
So do I say it right if I say Gujarati? Is that your local language?
Gujarati. Yes, Gujarati. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
So I'm so intrigued by your habits and your time, and like how do you structure your day in order to be so productive, to work and do everything, but also write that amount as well? How do you do that?
Yes. So I would say about structure that people usually, when you are talking to an author or writer, they would say that I wake up early in the morning and write for 5-6 hours, and then I, spend my whole day like doing nothing and brainstorming and stuff like that. But I would say that writing is it requires discipline. I must say that.
For sure.
Because if I'm thinking to complete one book in 1 month or 2 years, whatever that target is, but if I'm not disciplined in my schedule, then I'll definitely not be able to do that. And the scenario that we always discuss, that writer's block is there, that's why I'm not being able to write. But it will be in every profession, I would say. It's not like just for writer. So my process is simple. If I decide goals for myself that I want to finish this in 1 month or everything, then I'll just figure out the steps, simplify my ideas that will help me to complete the task one by one. So I follow the whole process of simplifying my ideas and writing one by one chapters and editing and taking feedbacks from people and everything. So basically organizing helps me a lot to finish that.
Yeah. And how many hours would you spend writing, say, in a day if you're on a deadline or a goal? Like, what's the maximum or minimum you'd spend?
So minimum, I would say that
Hello? Oh, we've just lost a little bit of connection. Hello? Hello? Darshali? I think the connection's just gone a little bit. Oh, you're back. Yeah, I got you now.
Yes,
you're back.
Yes,
cool.
yes. Internet connection was bad. So what did you listen last?
So I didn't hear. You were just going to say about how long you would write for each day.
Yes. So for how long, I would say that before I was working as a business analyst in one of the IT firm, I used to spend my 4 to 5 hours writing it. But currently I'm doing job as well. So that time has decreased. Like I get most of my time in weekends, and other than that, 2 or 3 hours I try to get out. But I would say that, yes, 4 hours the maximum I would give, because that is required in order to finish this much books. So.
Yeah, for sure. So would that be every single day? So like 7 days per week? Yeah, 4 hours?
Saturday, Sunday, honestly, it's sometimes it gets stopped because, through the whole planning and everything. But what I do is, like in Saturday, Sunday, I do the editing part or research part or exploring part. So that can help to, create the better content. So that's what I do in Saturday, Sunday. So that can help me to write better in Monday to Friday.
Brilliant. So you must be so disciplined. So tell me, whenever you started reading personal development books, what was one book that has really helped you a lot, like in personal development from the early days?
Yes, so I would say that I would not say just one book, but I would definitely say that whenever I was going through all the personal development books, then Romit Sharma I liked a lot. Then I was more kind of a person who used to read leadership. So John Maxwell is there. Then the book we are going to talk about today, Austin Kleon is there. So I would say that books, yes, they helped me a lot. Apart from that, I was always consuming content from YouTube as well, all the courses, learning everything from YouTube. So there are some personalities over there as well, like Matt Dovella is there. He's one of my favorite productivity.
Sorry, say that name again. What's his name?
Matt Dovella, MADDBELLA. So he's all about productivity, and I love that guy.
Cool.
Yes, yeah.
So he's helped you a lot to do structure and discipline, and would you say that you were always very productive, very kind of structured, even from your early life, or?
Yes, I would say that comes in nature maybe, and that also that if I was always kind of a person who always likes to structure all her tasks, even it's not even it's home chores, whatever I'm working on, even if I'm cooking or planning my day or planning picnic and anything. So I would be always focusing on, like, let's create the task, how much time would be there. So structured ideas, simplifying ideas. This is like the habit that developed in me by the practice, I would definitely say, because I continued doing it. That's why.
So there's something in there I find really interesting. So how do you balance having a structure, but also allowing, like, let's say, inspiration to take your ideas as well, if that makes sense?
Yes. So I would say that sometimes what happens is that if you are a creative person, then you would have lots of ideas.
Yes.
And yes, at the first point, you will think that all the ideas are good. Yeah. And that is also a good practice. Like, yes, you have to have that faith in yourself. But when it comes to really bringing it to audience, yes, definitely churning is required. So definitely brainstorming is also required. So once what practice I follow is that I don't stop myself when I'm coming up with lots of ideas. I just write it down all together. And then I decide that which is going to be actually useful, which is going to be actually possible to implement and get the result that people are needing. So this kind of process I follow, then only I put it into my book, because if it's not going to work, then there is no point of writing the theory of it. So
yeah, brilliant. Is there a particular place or a particular thing you're doing where ideas come to you?
I would say that only, even it's mentioned in Still Like an Artist, that creative sources are everywhere if you look around clearly. So I would say that people are the most interesting part that I, study them. I study them a lot. There are so many people around us. If you could study their work strategy, how they live lives and how they experience. So people is the one thing that I always observe and study. Second, I would say that now the scenario is changing and people are learning a lot from YouTube. But if you know how to use the best way of internet, then YouTube and Google can give you the best results possible that you are actually looking for. So I strategize in a way when I'm studying from YouTube and Google. And third, I would say books, but obvious. So I read also a lot. Even when I'm planning my day, there will be a slot where I would spend my time for reading a book particular that I'm interested.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm so interested in all this. It's really good stuff. So you must be asked a lot, or are you asked a lot by people, how can I get started writing a book? And if you are asked that, like, what do you say to them?
I always get this question, even when I'm, even on LinkedIn, when people send requests, they'll ask this first question in Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. So first answer I always give is that you will need willingness to finish the book. anyone can start book, right?
Great.
Anyone can start writing it, and even anyone can have that dream, but you first have to have willingness to actually finish it. And the second, I say that follow the process. That is my basic thing that I always say to people, that if you are thinking about writing a book, then have the clear idea of it. Like mind mapping we do if you're only working in corporate, but it does not like that. If you're working on your book, that is the first step that should come. Mind map your all the ideas that you want to implement, and all you want to write. And second step, I said that simplify those stuff. Whatever you have jotted down, simplify it. Decide what kind of chapters you want to give. And also in still like artists, there is one point given as Austin Kleon, write what you want to read, what you want to learn. So Austin Kleon also says that write that, because when you are in a learning mode, you will go deeper down in that. So that way you will actually have all the crux that you want to learn. And if you are going to have that kind of mindset, then only you can give the best book. So that's the thing that I also follow.
So yeah, that's a great concept. Yeah, exactly. We're going to, just for everybody listening, we're going to talk about this book in a bit, Steve, like an artist. But yeah, one of his totally is write the book you want to read.
Yes.
So that's brilliant. That's brought me on to a thought that I hadn't had before. So you must have learned an awful lot through writing the books, yeah? Like a lot of research and everything.
Yes. So it is like it's like a blessing. You are getting paid for learning. You are getting you are inspiring people after learning by yourself as well. So that is the best part I would say about my profession, is if someone comes to me, or if I decide that I want to write a book on habits, then I cannot just start writing it. I have to do a thorough research, because it is my responsibility as an author to give the best content to people which is going to be useful, because they are going to spend their time reading it, trying the exercise from it, and getting the actual implementation of it. So that also becomes responsibility. So that's why I always feel that I should have 100% knowledge, and then only I should write.
Can I just tell you, you've given me some real inspiration there, because this is a concept I'm sure a lot of people haven't thought of. So I'm sure I'm not alone. If I think about writing a book, which I often have done, all I really think about is my past. And I think, okay, my book will be stories from my past, what I've learned from my past, etc., etc. However, what I've just thought of is a book can be about something that you're struggling with now. And you could be saying, okay, I don't really know much about this before writing this book, but I'm going to research and learn and do what I need to do now in life, and write about that and share that with the world as well.
Yes. Just write it down in your idea box. It is going to help you.
Wow. That's amazing. I am sure a lot of people don't think of that, because
yes, definitely. So where I would say, Richard, that where people get mistaken in that point is they always feel that everyone feels that, including myself, that my story is going to be inspirational. I have struggled a lot and I have many problems in my life and I have overcome it. Everyone's story is inspirational. It's true. But the thing is how you are going to present it to the world so that they can get inspiration and take actual action from it. So that what matters a lot. So if we are thinking that my past has all the stories that I want to share with people, then you have to present it in a way that they can actually, learn something from it, rather than just getting, oh, wow, 45 minutes only. Because that's not the effect we are looking for, not just for 5 minutes. We want to have that impact for longer in their lives so that they can get benefit from it. So, yeah.
Brilliant. So, yeah, there's a lot in that, definitely, about how, because I think a lot of thing that stops people writing a book as well, they think, oh, I need to be perfect. I need to have all the answers before I write the book. But what you're saying is a different concept totally, which is do your research while you're writing the book and present that research in a way that, will help people. So it's brilliant. I love that. Really, really good.
Definitely.
Cool. So what would you say is you've written 34 books. What would you say is your speciality topic? Like, what's your favorite topic that you've written about?
Yes. So my specialty, my favorite topic would always be a self-development, because I always believe in that you come in this world as an individual, and if you cannot keep on growing and learning in your life, then there is no point of it. That I have already written my 34th book, that is Ikigai.
Yes.
So Ikigai book came in the Japanese concept came in English language, but I wanted to present that whole concept with more than 20 concepts that can help to find your Ikigai. So I wrote that book in my regional language. So I also focused on that part, like it is very much required that you keep on learning, and you keep on having one purpose in your life, and working on it. So I would say that self development is always going to be my favorite one, because I also keep on doing it in throughout my life. So
Brilliant. So let's talk about Ikigai, because a lot of people perhaps haven't heard about that. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
definitely. So Ikigai is a Japanese concept which was actually very old. Like in 1950, people were actually living that concept, but it was not, around the world presented. In 2016 or 17, one of the Japanese authors written a book on it. They went to a island called Okinawa in Japan and researched people over there, and then wrote a book about it. So in that time, the book got very much famous. Then people started, learning about that concept, what actually Ikigai is, and how can you find your goal, how can you find your purpose, how can you live happily. All these concepts were pretty good over there, and then people actually started implementing it, because what Ikigai is to find your purpose and live it, right? So what happens is, in life we overcomplicate things. We always think that we should have one purpose, or we always think we need to achieve so many things. But if you visit people living in Okinawa, for them, waking up every day and meeting their friends is their Ikigai. It is their life purpose.
Love it.
It is
Love
their
it.
happiness.
Yeah.
But we cannot think like that, because we are living in a modern city having lots of dreams and inspirations. Even if we have that kind of purpose, people are going to think that we are crazy. But when you read Ikigai and when you try to follow that concept in your life, you will feel very much at ease. Even when I wrote that book, and also started consuming that content in my life, I realized that life is not so hard, and we do not need to have bigger dreams all the time.
Yeah.
We can live a simple life and be happy about it.
Lovely. I love that idea, the simple life. And Darshali, you've
Yes.
so much wisdom. Like, it's unbelievable how much wisdom you have for such a young age. So let's talk a bit about like spirituality and things. And do you have spiritual practice as well, or do you gain wisdom from those concepts too?
Yes, when I was studying in my college, I was always interested in spirituality too. So I studied tarot card reading is there. My mother is tarot card reader. So I learned from her. Apart from there is a chakra therapy, there is aura therapy, color psychology. So all this astrology is there. Osho is one of my favorite. He is very different than spirituality. He is mentioned as a spiritual guru, but when you study the person, he is awesome, I would say. We can talk about that later. But I can say one thing, that spirituality has played very important part in my life, because when you have talent, you have wisdom, but you don't know how to energize your energy in right path, then there is no point of having all these things in you. But spirituality helps you at that point. It helps you to energize your creativity, put it out there and work on your goals. So all these things help when you are a spiritual person. So you can calm yourself down, you can calm your thoughts. Meditation also helps. At one point, I would like to share with our audiences that I loved one of the application that I'm using right now. It is Waking Up. So
Waking
this
up,
is awesome. Yes, Waking
right?
Up.
Yeah.
This is awesome application for meditation, and I love how he, how he gives all the ideas about life. And it is like you have to spend 10 minutes only to meditate from that application, but it is brilliant. So this kind of things always help apart from your profession and working on your life.
And can I ask, that concept, waking up, where would people find that? Is it in a book
They
or
can
on?
yes, it's an application. They can download it from Google Play Store or Apple Play Store. So it's a basically application only where you can self meditate. Guided meditation is there.
Yeah.
So you can listen to it in morning or night before going to sleep. And interesting part is like it's just does not provide guided meditation. It also provide the concept. Podcasts are also there given by him. So I love that one. You can definitely
Brilliant.
explore.
Thank you so much for that. And you brought up something really interesting there about energy. So
Yes.
for me, I think about this a lot as well, because obviously we need energy to work, we need energy to do our other projects. How do you manage your energy? And how do you not get totally exhausted doing so many things?
Yes. So what happens is if you want to manage your energy, then you need to prioritize. That is the first thing that we need to work on. There will be people around you, there will be friends around you, family around you, so many things will be around you that can eat your time. But you have to recognize those people or those specific activities. For example, Netflix right now. So Netflix is because due to lockdown and everything, Netflix has become like very much crucial part of everyone's life, right? But you should be knowing that you are basically watching someone's imagination and spending your 3 hours watching someone else's imagination.
Yeah, for sure.
So you need to decide that how you want to utilize your energy. So I would say that I would prioritize everything, even it prioritize in every single thing. I would say even in the small task, like that you need to do this 5 tasks in your work life and this 5 tasks in your personal life, but you need to prioritize that which are the most important, which are the tasks that are time consuming, and I can skip those things for later on. So this will always help to create environment where you can fully utilize your energy. You have to, and another thing, second, very important, you have to learn to say no. That is very much important. Even in career, in life, everywhere. So that will also help a lot.
And these days we hear a lot about like the 5 a.m. club and morning routines. Could you tell us a bit about what's your sleep routine and your morning routine like?
Honestly, I tried that 5 a.m. club, but I couldn't keep up due to in India. In India, the work life is totally different. So people start their day at 10 o'clock in the morning and finish there at 7 and 8 and 9. Basically, I hate that schedule, but in whole India, people are following it. But if I would be living in your country, then like 8 to 4 is perfect life that a person should have. Like 8 to 4 is your professional life, and before 5 to 8 you can do it. I tried to do it 8 to 4, but here the companies does not allow that, so that is not possible. But apart from that, if I'm having a regular day like weekends or not working in a corporate field, then I would definitely try to follow 8 to 4 schedule, because it gives you time not just to work on your career but your personal life as well, or the things that you want to do like side hustle. So that helps.
And what way do you work that yourself? If you start now at 10 a.m., do you
if currently I'm working in one company, so yes, I have to start my day at 10 and be there like for 7. So before 2 hours that I get, I can work for my book and all the other tasks that I'm working on myself. And after 7, once completing dinner and everything, then I can also spend 1 hour for that. And for the rest of the task, I can manage in weekends. That get little hasty, but we can learn to manage.
That's brilliant, because one thing that I've learned from high performing people, there's no one way that will suit everybody. Like I know a very successful person who says this 5 a.m. club doesn't suit them either, so but yet they're very, very successful. And for me, I've tried it a little bit, but for me it's about, you have to go to bed so early to make that work.
And so that is not possible. That does not become possible being a family person and having responsibility and everything. Going back to early bed, that does not become possible in reality. So it becomes tough.
For sure. No, that's brilliant. So I think the message there for people listening is it's about experimenting, isn't it? It's about experimenting
Yes,
with your
yes,
routine.
yes, definitely. You can try it out either way. And what happens is when you actually start doing it consciously, you will realize the fact that which are the time period that you can actually, give more output, or you are being productive or creative. So that pattern you will recognize once you start experimenting it and being conscious about it. So that will also help to, have the schedule.
Yeah, brilliant. So before we talk about our book, tell us could you tell us what you're reading first of all, actually? What book are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm reading Austin Kleon's book only, that is Show Your Work. After completing Still Like an Artist, I started
Cool.
reading his second book. Yes.
Yeah, he's a brilliant artist. We'll get to him in a second.
Yes.
And then tell us, you mentioned that you're writing a series. So can you give us a little bit of insight? What's that going to be about?
Yes. So series is going to be an action series, and what we are currently talking, this all is the conversation. But what if we are not here and people, one person has a book, who I have written it, and if he or she wants to implement it, he has no one around, no internet is there, no people is around, but he wants to do something in life. So after reading that book, that will be an action packed series, step by step guide to do everything that you want to do in your life or in your career or in particular genre of your life. So that's what I'm working on. And I totally feel that after writing that many self-help book, I also realized that if you are giving people a direct action steps, then it would definitely help them a lot. So that's what is the series is going to be.
Brilliant. So for me, I would say, I mean, there's so many people that you can help, but particularly people maybe university age or around that. So would you have a particular person in mind whenever you're writing a book? Who would be your kind of target reader?
Yes. So I have particularly two kind of people in my mind. One is who always believe in self-learning, because if that kind of person is there, then he or she would be able to grab all those knowledge and actually implement it. So that is my first target. And second one is, yes, as you mentioned correctly, like university and corporate people as well, because what happens is they do not have the right processes, or sometimes they have ideas in their mind but they don't know how to organize those stuff and make the work done. So that will also help them. So in 4 books, one is going to be about habits, second is going to be about B plan, and there are so many aspects that I'm going to cover. But two people I definitely want to target is that self-learning kind of people, and second, university and corporate people, definitely.
Yeah. I've got a question that has kind of come to mind. So because I won't be alone with the listeners here. You're such an impressive person, Darshali. You really are.
Thank you.
I can't express that enough. So can I ask you a personal question? Are you well known in India? Like, do a lot of people know who you are? And
yes,
I'm
well known in yes, I'm well known in Gujarat, specifically that state, because I have written Gujarati books, right, in regional language. But not in India, I would say, because India is like having 26 states, and all the states are having different language. And in the state I am living is having Gujarati language. So yes, I'm famous in Gujarat state, but as I also want to expand myself and my personal branding and myself. So yes, writing an English book will definitely cover the global people that I want to share my knowledge with.
Brilliant. So impressive. I can't express that enough. Just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm blown away. I really am. And do you know, one of the things that I've realized quite a lot from doing these interviews is that age or like geography or all these things, they don't matter. Like everybody has so much to offer, so what I would like to inspire as well is if somebody is listening to this and they are maybe in their early 20s or teens or whatever, like you're never too young. Like you're an example of that. You don't have to wait until think, oh, I won't have enough wisdom to start until I'm in my 50s or 60s. It's brilliant. So inspirational. And can I ask, do you do public speaking? Like, I know if I had a school, if I was a headmaster, I would want you to come and speak in my school. So
yes, I did a lot.
Yeah,
Yes, I did a lot of that.
yeah,
I used to conduct seminars and workshops in my college. So what I used to do is that I would, go to my headmasters and say that I want to take seminars of the junior students of mine and seniors as well, and they will allow it. So I
wow.
used to do that a lot. I also used to go in institutes to give public speaking seminars because
Mhm.
when they are studying, it also helps them. Students help that helps a lot when they are into reading. So I used to do that. And apart from that, we have so many groups in Gujarat for libraries and reading group.
Yeah,
So I always be part of them. And recently I had one seminar where I talked about how can you implement what you are reading. So I gave them the actions that they
brilliant.
can take after reading a book. So yes, I do that.
I love that because that's my ethos of the book club. That's really what my book club is about, so that people
Yes.
don't just read a book, but they actually put it into action. So
Yes,
I
definitely.
I absolutely love that. That's brilliant. And then I guess one more question. I could ask you questions all day. I'm just so interested before we
Thank
talk
you.
about the book. So you talked about your actual profession. So for people watching, I'm sure they're wondering like, what do you do? You mentioned a job. So what do you actually do?
Yes. Yes, I'm a business analyst in IT firm.
Yeah.
So business analyst is all about, analyzing the stuff and, requirement gathering from client and, guiding the team members that how they can develop a software or a product that they are working on. So as a business analyst, also that part comes where I have to organize all the thoughts and present it to people.
Yeah.
So that's how as a corporate light, I'm working as a business analyst. And apart from that, author is always there, being a columnist is also there, being a YouTuber, and keep on writing columns and everything. So all is there.
Brilliant. And would you say that you have found your purpose?
Yes, but it's a ongoing journey, I would say. I would not say that I would stick to it. Yes, once I'm growing with it, there will come in time. And also Ikigai also says the same, that it's not necessary to have just one purpose in your life. By the time, by the experience, by the age, it might get changed, and it is totally okay.
Yeah.
So
And
yes.
one thing I've realized also as well, it's impossible to plan like in like stone, because who knows? You don't know who's going to read a book one day and say, I want to bring you to the UK, or I want to bring you to America, or whatever. You just don't know
Yes.
how that's going to happen. And
Yes.
for
Yes. So
sure,
that's yes. When you have talked about this one, I would like to particularly point out the idea that Steve Jobs always used to say, connecting the dots.
yeah,
So you never know where the dot will be connected and what your efforts back in 10 years will give you the result after 10 years. So your purpose should be keep on doing it what you are doing. So yeah,
exactly. It's all an adventure, and just keeping going and keeping seeing what's around the next corner is so exciting, you know?
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
I love it. So let's talk about this book. So just for a background for the people watching, whenever we spoke, I asked, what book would you like to talk about? And I didn't realize at that time that, all your books were local language. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm so looking forward to your English book so I can read it.
Definitely,
But so
definitely.
obviously then we decided we would talk about another book. So tell me, why did you suggest this book, which is Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon? It's a brilliant book, but why did you suggest that we have a
Yes.
chat about that?
Yes, because if you see the current scenario everywhere around the world,
Yeah,
everyone wants to have their online presence.
yeah,
Everyone wants to say something, give something, share something, right?
yeah,
But what they are lacking is, even myself, I'm also working on myself. So what they're lacking is the right path, right mindset, and some misconceptions that need to get broken.
yeah.
So these three things are going to get clarified if you're going to read that book, and it is going to help you what you actually want to achieve. So that's why I've chosen this book.
Brilliant. And I have to say, I read this book in one sitting. I sat down and I read the whole book because I
It is
couldn't,
that amazing.
yeah, I couldn't put it down. And
Yes.
for people listening, it was, I think it was like 2.5 hours, something like that. I read it
Yes,
in
yes,
3 hours, maybe.
yes, yes. It
And
depends on your reading speed, but yes, it is intriguing book, so you can finish it in one sitting for sure if you
yeah,
are interested in this kind of things. Yeah.
yeah. And so tell me, what is the book about? I think it's best if you give us a little flavor, like What's the book about,
Yes.
and what have you taken
Yes.
from it?
Yes. So, Still Like an Artist is a book that will break your misconception. That is the first thing. Let me tell you one clear thing that I learned from this book is nothing is original. So what happens is we keep on insisting on a fact that our idea is original, or we try to prove that to the world, but you need to settle down over that, because nothing is going to be original. It is out there already somewhere in the some part, in some manner, some language, anywhere else. So that is first relief that you need to give yourself. And second, very most important relief or idea is that when you are working on that particular idea, always going to have that your own flavor in that. So if I'm talking about a book or any idea right now, it is not going to be just what I have read. It will have my own thoughts, my perception. It comes naturally. So you do not need to worry about like this is not my original or this is my original. Both concepts are gone when you read this book. And that's what the book also said, still like an artist. What artist does, where the inspiration comes from. A painter cannot say that like this is my only inspiration and this is my original work, because back in his or her mind, he knows where the inspiration came from, where all the ideas came from, and how he beautifully presented towards us. So he also knows that the fact. So this is the book about breaking down your misconceptions. So that is the first thing I would say.
Yeah, no, definitely. Excuse me. Yeah, I absolutely love the book. And isn't it true to say that he has a really interesting writing style as well? It's
Yes,
so
yes.
entertaining.
Yes, definitely. What I love about his writing style is that he's straightforward. Like
Yeah,
like we are talking right now, we are analyzing the ideas and putting it out there. So we are having conversation. So when you are reading him, it you will feel like you are having a real conversation, not just theoretical or hypothetical situation. He will say you the right stuff, even the stuff that you don't like to listen from people, but you will accept it. So this kind of bold style of his writing, and also if you go through the book, the artistic things he has done in all the design, from the designing perspective in the book, that is also pretty interesting.
yeah, for sure. All is like all the little diagrams and everything. But there's
Yes.
something actually that I thought of when I was reading this. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you, is this something you do? Because it's, as you say, it's as if he's speaking the words,
Mm-hmm.
rather than writing them. So
Yes.
I was wondering, did he dictate it? Like, did he actually speak the words? And have you ever done that as a writer yourself? Have you ever dictated the
Yes.
words?
So about him, I don't know what process he followed, but about myself, I would say yes, I have tried that one,
Yeah,
because it really helps. Basically, once you jot down all your thoughts by speaking it, it does help. So if you're kind of a person who does not sit and write, that kind of mindset, if you don't have, then speaking always helps,
yeah,
and it definitely helps.
yeah, for sure. So is there any, like, what is the one, like, there's, just for people watching, there's a whole load of different chapters with different titles. One of them we mentioned earlier, actually, write the
Yeah. Yes,
book, write
you
the
want
book
to.
you want to read. So was
Yes.
there any one that kind of, that springs to mind for you, or any idea where you were like, wow, that's so true for me? Or, what was the big
Yes.
idea?
Yes, yes. I loved three ideas from that book. One is be boring.
Yes.
Because yes, people always say that they want to be entertaining and want to please people, but if you are a creative person and want to actually do something about your life and work, then being boring is totally fine. You have to give that time to yourself and your work. And second I love is the creating finding the creative sources, because that is always my favorite part, because it's all about observing. If you're observing quite properly, then yes, you can get inspiration from everywhere. And third is about be kind to yourself and others. So what happens is that when we are trying to create our presence in social media or online, there will come a time where you will get get negative feedback, or the feedback that you are looking for, or the response that you are looking for will not be that, especially when you are having a YouTube channel and you are trying to grow your channel and stuff like that. You will get lost in the numbers and achieving those numbers and everything. But at that time you need to realize that be kind to yourself. It will happen once you go through the right process, once you find the right path. So that this definitely helps, and I love these 3 points. And the relief that people can get from this book is that nothing is original, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to say, for me, the be boring was a big factor. Sorry, just 1 second. I'm just going to clear my throat. Excuse me. Yeah, so be boring. So that provided a lot of insight in my past. And for me, there's another way of saying that. In a way, it's like, don't worry what people think. So the thing that for me, I realized in my past was like, I always would say yes to going to parties. If somebody was like, let's go out, I would say yes. Because you want to be the person who doesn't say no. Like you mentioned it earlier, say no, learn to say no. I never did that. So every time I was going out and, instead, and then I realized looking at the people around me that I was with that are successful or did, did productive things and, art people, they're the people that say no. They're like, no, I can't go out tonight. I gotta be boring because I'm doing XYZ tomorrow, or I'm doing XYZ tonight, or I'm working on a deadline, or whatever that is. So for me, that was a big insight of what I need to do is to be more boring and have like a schedule in place and stick to it and all the rest of it. But there's amazing freedom in that as well, isn't there?
Yes, definitely it is there. Definitely freedom is there. Because from other people's perspective, you might be a boring person, but for yourself that you are enjoying what you are doing. So that's the best part.
Exactly. And then exactly what you said as well was the one, it says, do good work and share it with people. So, just like get it done and show it to people. And I think what you said is so, so key in this day and age. Like we are so attached to the engagement, the likes, the comments, we're so attached to that. But yet it really doesn't matter. Like for me, and I can give a real tangible example of this. So I did a interview last week, and for me, my goal, and I know this is going to happen with this interview for sure, my goal is if I get one positive comment back saying this has helped me so much, then for me, that is my work is done,
Definitely.
If one person benefits, it's brilliant. And so I think that's exactly back to, it doesn't matter if millions of people see it. It doesn't matter if 10 people see this. As long as one person is positively affected, then that's great.
Definitely. There is whole world out there. Everyone is going to get right knowledge from somewhere. But our duty should be to keep on giving. You never know when and where a person can get benefited. So we have to keep on working.
And if you keep to that ethos, naturally, as you keep sharing, of course, more people will see things, and then 2 people will benefit, 3 people will benefit, and then, of course, it will grow. But for sure, if we stop, if we think, oh, only 5 people have watched this, and we stop, then no one will see our work. That's a fact. That's the perfect way for no one to see anything.
Yeah, definitely. You do not even like if you are talking about numbers and engagement, then the second book that he has written called Show Your Work that I'm reading right now, it is emphasizing that fact only. It's not that you just focus on numbers, but how you can keep on working on it, and how you keep on showing your work consistency. That what matters. So yes, all the books will give definitely good insights.
Brilliant. So good. So yeah, I'm just going to recap the book again and hold it up here. So Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Absolutely brilliant little book. And like we said, it's a really short read, but it's a read that every page is like some sort of a light bulb going off. You're like, wow, just the way he writes is so good. So thank you so much. And I will definitely go on to read his other books as well. So to kind of recap, Darshali, what I want to do, everybody will be wondering, where can they see more of you and your work, and where can they check things out? So could you share with us all the platforms you're on and things?
Yes, definitely. So I have my own website, darshalisoni.com. So where you can read all my blogs that I'm writing, all the movies that Hollywood movies I'm writing, and all the updates about my books. So they are also there. Apart from that, I have started YouTube channel. So I have talked about many books over there, many productivity videos and everything. So you can also find me on YouTube having the same name, Darshali Soni. And even for any thought sharing or any ideas or anything, if you want to reach out to me, then I am always available on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, so they all can reach out to me there.
Brilliant. So good. So yeah, I feel the need to tell you this. I hadn't thought of this before, but I don't know if you saw, I interviewed a guy called Eric Macrons, and he's written a book called The Reincarnationist Papers.
Wow.
It's actually a fiction book, but it's about past lives, and he used a lot of personal development techniques himself to get the book made from a book to a movie. But the movie is coming out now in September, starring Mark Wahlberg. And it's called Infinite. So that could definitely be one for you to write about. I've seen the trailer for it. In fact, I must share the trailer in the group.
Yes. Yes.
It looks really, really good. The book is fantastic too.
Definitely. I'll check it out. Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. But Darshali, just from everybody watching, I'm sure we mentioned one person, but I have no doubt many people will be inspired by this because you're such an impressive person. I feel so blessed to have met you and to be able to chat like this. So from everybody, I just want to say thank you so much. And yeah, I really look forward to your English books coming out. So thank you.
Yes, definitely. And I also want to thank you, Richard, as well, because the activities that you are doing for the people, especially who are into reading and self-development, that is also so much appreciable because we need people like this in this world who are actually doing something for the people who wants to learn. So I'll definitely thank you for that as well.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, there's big stuff coming for the book club ahead as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, keep an eye for that.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Bye.
Yeah, sure, no problem.